anti-lockdown conspiracy theorists took to Trafalgar Square today, where hundreds of protesters clashed with police as fighting erupted by the National Gallery. Angry demonstrators defied Boris Johnson's coronavirus laws as they scrambled onto Nelson's column and stood shoulder to shoulder in the central London square. Officers and riot police moved in on crowds of people armed with placards and banners which read, "Scam, this is now tyranny, and freedom over fear." But they were outnumbered and pushed back by the huge Resist and Act for Freedom rally, who formed human blockades to avoid arrest. Did you see what happened? Email webnews@mirror.co.uk. Fighting then broke out, with the Met Police warning this afternoon that those who remain may get arrested, and encouraged them to leave immediately. Witness Steve Laws, 29, a painter and decorator from Folkestone, said he observed around 500 main protesters, but around 3,000–4,000 people in the general area. He said, "At first it felt like it was pretty peaceful, but now with the police lined up outside Canada House there's been a bit of a commotion. It feels like there's a tense atmosphere. I've seen a few tussles, but I've not seen any proper arrests yet." None of the protesters are wearing a mask, they're saying, with a 99%. They're banging on about the masks and vaccines and death rates. They've shouted COVID is a hoax a lot. It's definitely more anti-COVID than anti-government. Demonstrators, including anti-vaccination protesters, also scuffled with officers between the two sides next to the National Gallery as the crowd began cheering and chanting. Organizers sold T-shirts bearing 5G conspiracy theories and advocating the legalization of cannabis, as a range of speeches were made to the crowd. Addressing the crowd to huge cheers, organizer Kate Shemirani said, "We are the resistance." The protest was advertised with an image showing a vaccine bottle and urging people to come together, resist and act. In a second attempt to break up the gathering, dozens of Met Police officers, including some on horseback, later moved in at Trafalgar Square. Traffic was brought to a halt, with motorists beeping their horns with frustration as protesters erected a blockade in a bid to prevent officers from making arrests. One protester hit a London taxi after the driver beeped in frustration. The protester then appeared to spit through the window at the driver. Another protester's large dog escaped from its lead and ran around near to the National Gallery. The rally, organized by opponents of coronavirus lockdown measures, saw scores of people gather holding banners and chanting freedom. One protester held a banner calling for the government's sage scientific advisors to be sacked, while others declared COVID-19 a hoax. A University College Dublin professor told the anti-vax rally the coronavirus vaccine will make people sick. Professor Dolores Cahill told the crowd, "We want freedom, truth and love. I know that vaccines make people sick. You should not trust the government, the doctors and the media. They are lying about the COVID-19 vaccine. Vaccines have not been safety tested. They tell you when you take a vaccine you'll get a little bit of swelling. Is that true? No. You can get multiple sclerosis and allergies. When I talk to parents, there are 12 known diseases you can get. If you are a parent, auntie, grandparent, cousin or neighbor, we're here to say the truth will come out." Met Police-confirmed officers at Trafalgar Square adopted the 4S approach to explain, engage and encourage them to leave throughout today. A spokesperson said, "Despite this, protesters have remained, putting themselves and others at risk." This, coupled with pockets of hostility and outbreaks of violence towards officers, means we will now be taking enforcement action to disperse those who remain in the area. Those who remain may get arrested. Coronavirus vaccine. It is important to remember that we are still in the middle of a global pandemic, and the changes have been introduced to help control the spread of the virus, keep everybody safe and save lives. We encourage those in attendance to leave the area immediately. The force acknowledged the majority of Londoners have complied with coronavirus restrictions and appealed to everybody to do their part to prevent the spread. A spokesperson added, "Throughout this period, the vast majority of Londoners have complied with the regulations. We all need to continue to do our part to prevent the spread of the virus. Please continue to act responsibly, maintain social distancing, respect the new regulations, and help keep yourself, your friends and family safe." Exceptions to the new regulations include gatherings organized by certain types of body, such as a business or a charity, having carried out a full risk assessment and taken all steps to limit the transmission of the virus. Other exemptions apply to gatherings that are necessary for the purposes of work, taking part in sports, to protest or to provide emergency assistance.